This episode of the Burnout Recovery podcast is brought to you by MEGA, your medical indemnity partner. Whether you're starting out in your career or have decades of experience, MEGA helps you thrive with support that goes beyond insurance. Enjoy travel benefits like complimentary travel insurance and Qantas points on your membership, plus education, medico-legal support, access to career coaching and wellbeing resources. Visit mega.com.au to learn more. Insurance issued by Medical Insurance Australia, which has not taken into account your objectives or situation. Before you make any decisions about our policies, please read our PDS and consider your needs. Call us for a copy or visit mega.com.au. Burnout isn't just exhaustion. It's carrying too much for too long. Heidi takes the administrative load off clinicians so you can focus on what matters, patient care. Recovery starts with removing what drains you. Try Heidi for free at heidihealth.com.
Welcome to the Burnout Recovery Podcast, a guiding resource dedicated to healthcare professionals on their journey to overcoming burnout. Spearheaded by Dr. Joe Braid, a certified professional coach and rehabilitation physician.
Hello, I'm Dr. Joe Braid. I'm the host of the Burnout Recovery Podcast and a doctor of over 20 years. Welcome back to our community of healthcare professionals who are committed to staying well in sustainable careers. Today, we're talking about something that can literally change your day in just 5 minutes. Micro-recoveries. These aren't just quick fixes. They're evidence-based interventions that can reset your nervous system, restore your energy, and help you show more fully for yourself and whatever domain you're working in, whether it's healthcare or beyond. Recently, I was coaching a healthcare professional, let's call her Sarah, who described something I hear so often. It's so sad to hear this. She said, Joe, I wake up and I look at my calendar and immediately I feel this wave of dread. I'm exhausted before my day even starts. And Sarah's experience reminds me of my own journey with burnout. You know, there was a time when opening my calendar felt like looking at a mountain I had to climb with no equipment. This anticipatory exhaustion, that sense of being defeated before you even begin, it can be one of the early warning signs that our nervous system is stuck in chronic stress mode. So during the coaching session, we explored self-coaching tools, particularly around mindset work. This is often what I want my clients to leave with, so they have the tools to continue to help themselves from that coaching session going forwards. And in case you're interested, I have a wait list for coaching, and honestly, if a space comes up in my calendar where it's a win-win for you and me, I will honor that for sure and email you with availability. So go to my website if you want to get on my wait list for coaching. Anyhow, what struck me was how quickly Sarah's energy shifted when we introduced the concept of a morning micro-recovery. So 5 minutes before she even looked at her schedule. So instead of diving into the demands of her day, she learned to create a small buffer, a moment of intentional connection with herself. And this is what I mean by being connected to our own recovery. When we're constantly reactive, waking up and immediately absorbing the stress of what's ahead, we miss those crucial moments where we can set the tone for our entire day, or at least getting started with the day. And Sarah discovered that those 5 minutes weren't just about feeling calmer, they were about reclaiming her agency in how she approached her work. So let's go into the research behind this. The neuroscience behind micro-recoveries is both fascinating and practical. Dr. Andrew Huberman's team at Stanford published research in 2023 that tested what they call cyclic sighing. So essentially repeated physiological sighs done for just 5 minutes daily. And here's what they found. When 108 healthy adults practiced this simple breathing technique for 1 month, they showed the largest improvements in mood compared with other interventions, which included mindfulness meditation. The participants' respiratory rate decreased, they had sustained calmness, and their parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest response, became more active. So the physiological sigh is beautifully simple. It is a double inhale through the nose, followed by a long, slow exhale, often through the mouth. Sounds like this. Inhale, and then a short one, and then... And what happens neurologically is that this pattern quickly offloads carbon dioxide, enhancing oxygen exchange, and shifts the balance from our sympathetic fight or flight response to our parasympathetic calm and connect response. And what makes this particularly relevant for healthcare workers is that our nervous systems are designed to be malleable, especially in those first few minutes of our day. So when we immediately flood ourselves with the stress of our schedule, we're essentially training our brain to start each day in survival mode. But when we create even a small buffer with intentional breathing, we're setting our nervous system up for resilience rather than reactivity. So here are 3 micro-recoveries you can do before you look at your calendar, check your phone, or dive into your day. And actually, they can be used throughout the day. It doesn't just have to be at the start of the day. So the physiological sigh, I just talked you through how to do that. 2 inhales through your nose, sort of stacking them, followed by a long, slow exhale through your mouth. Do this for 3 to 5 times, so it takes at least a minute to do the cycles, and your nervous system will really shift from stress to calm. I've done this in workshops before, and the whole audience can really feel that difference in themselves. The morning intention reset. So before opening your calendar, take 3 deep breaths and ask yourself this self-coaching question. How do I want to show up today? So again, this pause is taking you from reactive to intentional mode. Your prefrontal cortex, that's the part of your brain responsible for executive function, needs this moment to come online before you start making decisions. So why not make that first decision around how you want to show up for the day? And then you can also look at your energy levels as you start your day. So what will I need to feel supported today? I think this is a really great question. Just sort of know what sort of help or support you might need through the day, and what can you do to provide that support. And this might connect you to the framework that I often use of sleep, support, mindset, and movement, and give yourself that sense of agency rather than helplessness. This one is great to do before you fully engage with your day's demands, and thinking of it as giving your nervous system a chance to regulate before it needs to perform. So, in taking action from this, you might want to, tomorrow morning, before you check your phone or look at your calendar, give yourself 5 minutes. Start with the physiological sigh. It's the most researched and fastest acting technique. Notice then what happens to that anticipatory feeling about your day. Ask yourself, what would change if I started each day from a place of calm rather than chaos? And how might those 5 minutes ripple throughout my entire day? And here's your reflective question for deeper self-coaching. If you could give yourself the gift of starting each day feeling grounded rather than overwhelmed, what would that make possible in your work and your life? I'd love to hear how morning micro-recoveries change your experience. Share your insights with one other person this week, a colleague, a friend, or join our community in the Healthcare Leadership Hub on School. The link is below in the show notes underneath this podcast episode. This is where we're exploring practical tools for sustainable well-being. And remember, burnout prevention starts with these small, consistent acts of self-care. Those 5 minutes, they're not selfish, they're strategic. When you start your day connected to yourself, you show up more fully for everyone else. Until next week, be gentle with yourself, and remember, you have more control over your day than you think, and it starts with how you choose to begin it. Thanks so much for listening. Have a great week. I'll see you next Wednesday. Cheers. Ready to take the next step in your burnout recovery journey? Visit drjoebraid.com for free resources, all 150 plus podcast episodes, and information about my keynote speaking. Links are in the show notes. Your well-being matters. Protect the asset that is you. If you're a clinician trying to protect your energy this year, hear this. We all know how the invisible work drains us. Those endless notes, follow-ups, and admin tasks that happen after every patient leaves. That's where Heidi comes in, an AI care partner that quietly handles the documentation while you stay focused on what matters, patient care. It's not another system to learn. It's support that actually reduces your cognitive load. Try Heidi for free today at HeidiHealth.com. Be your best you. Rely on MEGA for your protection and support, serving doctors for over 125 years through insurance, education, medical legal advice, and member benefits designed to help you thrive and succeed. Insurance issued by Medical Insurance Australia, which has not taken into account your objectives or situation. Before you make any decisions about our policies, please read our PDS and consider your needs. Call us for a copy or visit mega.com.au.